Hi, I'm really excited to show you a new card game called Skyward. It's a competitive strategy card drafting game of control versus opportunity for 2 to 4 players. And here with me is Brendan, the designer.
Hello.
So we're going to run through a 2-player game, and it's going to be a very quick tutorial. Let's get the ball rolling, I guess.
Okie dokie. So, in Skyward, the fundamental part of the game is splitting piles made from this deck of cards. So, in a 2-player game, I, as the warden, am going to take this pile of buildings and faction resources and the occasional pigeon and arrange them into 2 piles. I can do this however I want. I have ultimate power. But as soon as I have arranged these into 2 piles, Alan will have absolute freedom to choose the pile that he likes most and put it into his hand. It is up to me to try and arrange these 2 piles in such a way that no matter what he takes, I'm happy and my ultimate plan is advanced. So I'm going to look at this pile right here, and I can see that I have some buildings and my faction resources and a pigeon that's going to mess things up, and also I need to put the warden token in one of these piles.
So as a quick overview, the buildings are your aim. These are what you're trying to get because they earn you victory points. And the factions are resources that help you launch the buildings to get you those victory points. And pigeon is really just, what do we call them, rodents of the sky?
They are rodents of the sky.
They're just not very pleasant to have. And the warden is this tile over there.
Whoever takes the warden token gets to make the next split, and as a bonus, they'll receive one of these cogs, which we'll talk about later. So, I want to try and convince Alan to pick up this pigeon, because it's a sky rodent, and it will make his city worse. So I'm going to take these 2 lovely green buildings, these are collective buildings, and this collective faction card, necessary for building collective buildings, and I'm going to put that in a pile. And then I'm going to add a pigeon to it. And now I'm going to take these other buildings. We can see here that there is an observatory building, and it is a seer building, and I have a seer faction card. So I'm going to put these 2 together. I'm going to try and balance out the buildings a little bit by putting these piles here. And now I need to work out where I put the warden. If Alan takes this pile, he's going to have 2 collective buildings and a collective faction. Is that good enough? I'm not entirely sure. I think he might still be willing to pick this up, because everything here is working together towards the same plan, even with a sky rodent.
So an important part of the game that has been designed is that a lot of the cards are quite impactful. They have synergies with each other. So as a good example, the data node and the cloud network both play off each other very well. We won't go through the specifics of the cards themselves, but note that every faction has their own sort of synergy that they sort of play off to each other.
So I've created this very strong pile here, and now to balance it out, I think I'll put the warden token here. So I have created 2 piles, one with a pigeon, and one with a stack of resources and a warden token. Okay, so I've created 2 equally strong piles, both with their strengths, and now it is over to Alan to choose which pile he'd like most.
Okay, so let's have a look here. So definitely that's a really strong start. The pigeon is a problem, but given that it's really early in the game, there are cards in here. Well, there is one card in here that really helps mitigate the pigeon. So if that does come up, then I have some solutions to try and deal with the pigeon. Over here we have the faction seer that can actually pay for the observatory immediately and get you the 2 points. Now, the game actually stops, the end game is triggered when 6 of the buildings have been launched. So every building that you launch really does matter. So you want to make sure that if you do launch a building that actually does play into your strategy over the long term. And so in this case, the warden gets you 1 token. So the way that the token work is that these tokens, they actually substitute any of the resources that are on any of the buildings. So it could be there, or it can be used there, or it can be used in even, there's a wild symbol that says any faction you can use to pay for that. You can also use that there too. So tokens are really important in the game, and the warden gets that. So it's a nice boon. So in this instance, both of them are actually equally strong. But for me, I think that I'm going to go for the combo.
And I'm going to take the remaining pile of cards. So, all these cards now in my hand. And because I am the warden, I'll go first. As the warden, I receive a bonus token. This is called a cog, and I can treat this as any faction card when I'm paying for a building. I can build one building per turn. I'm going to build this observatory. So I'll place it down on the table, and then I need to discard faction cards that match these symbols. There is a single seer symbol here. And what do you know? I've got a single seer.
Okay, so at the end of any player's turn, you can trade 3 cards for a cog. But given that this is our first turn, usually they wouldn't be enough to just get that engine going.
I only have the 2 cards.
So over here on my pile, I have the pigeon. Now, the pigeon never goes into the hand. They go straight out to onto the tableau. And what I've got is a faction building, a faction card, and the collective buildings for the faction, but not enough to pay for either of them. But if I do actually get the resources, I'm well into my ability to actually get those cards down. So, and then that's the end of my turn.
That's the end of one round.
That's the end of one round, yes. So, really at this time, the process continues with the warden now making a new split, and the warden token gets placed in. Whoever chooses the warden pile starts the next round. Rinse and repeat until either the
deck is empty,
and 6 buildings triggers the end game, and you get one final split, and then the game ends. The player with the most number of victory points wins the game. And that's how you play Skyward.